Today's theme is about Epstein file and his list. I think this topic has been quite exciting for most of the people who pay attention to the politics or the political development in the U.S. Since Trump has started his second presidency for already quite a few months, we can see that two camps in the U.S. politics. One, of course, supporting Trump. One is against Trump, forever against. Okay, no matter what he has done, what he has said, or what is happening, that they find ways or do make any action, try to deny all the goodness that Trump has done, and try to find out all those blames on Trump. Okay? So this Epstein file and his list aroused a lot of concern from both parties. So those against, of course, they found a good way. They found maybe a good topic to fertilized so that people will pay attention to maybe there is some black history behind Trump. We all see that during the running for presidency, those opponents of Trump, they always try to find or make some excuse to give us so-called black history of Trump. And now the Trump administration always show us that they have evidences that all those blames, all those indictment on Trump actually were only made up by their opponents. It is fake, all are fake. So now, of course, we all heard about the person Epstein. Before coming to the U.S., I already heard about this person and what he has done, and what the results comes out that he was in prison. And then before coming, suddenly heard that he took suicide in the prison. So even those not very interested in the U.S. politics, if you ever pay attention to the U.S., you know this case, right? And those U.S. people, after this case happened and after the suicide of Epstein, I think most of them also know about this person, know about his hearing, his imprisonment, and then his suicide. This Epstein case actually has reminded me about what is happening in Hong Kong before my coming to the U.S. Actually, since I was young, I always read from the news or heard from the TV that there are some suicidal cases of the mainland Chinese. Usually they are political dissidents or opponents or any anti-government attorney or organizations. So it is not a very frightening story that I suddenly heard about someone took suicide, and then the news, the report said that there is no reason behind, no finding behind that he should take suicide. And also, of course, in Hong Kong, you can, before 2019, you can read and watch many information from all different sources, so that you have more resources telling you about what has happened. And then, of course, there are many sources saying that there are evidences that they are not taking suicide themselves. What we call it is not done by himself. The suicide done by someone else. Okay, so what's the meaning then? Suicide means you took your own life, but now here, the so-called suicide, actually it means someone took your life by the means of a suicide. Okay, that means it looks like a suicide by the person himself or herself, but actually it's a murder or it is a killing by someone and then force you to take suicide. So you are being suicide. Okay, that is not grammatically correct in English, but in actually this is the meaning. So before coming, I also heard about this suicide of this person Epstein. Of course, this news is quite it is a big news, right? This news is a big news that someone suddenly found that he has crime, okay? Because there is human trafficking, especially those concerning youngsters, okay? And then it is involved with many rich persons, famous person, and even someone from the royal family in England. I think all of you have heard about that. Okay, and then he was caught and imprisoned, and then what makes it even more striking is that he took suicide suddenly. He's not in prison for a long time before the suicide, what we so-called suicide, come out. So actually, of course, there are rumors that it is not a real suicide. It is also what I have just explained, that it is a murder or killing by someone else, or it is or he is forced to take suicide. We are not sure. We don't know that. And then now, of course, when the Trump administration trying to exposing some secret in the documentation, what has actually happening. Of course, they want to show that it is not a suicide, okay, or behind this Epstein, actually many other people are involved in this human trafficking. When the U.S. people are expecting the documentation will be released and then more information given, and then what other people, most importantly, the U.S. people want to know, or the whole world want to know, what other peoples are involved, except what those famous person, royal person that we have already known before. Are there still any persons, especially in the U.S. Government, in the U.S. Politics, that they are involved but not yet released? So now the focus is on whether Trump is on the list, right? So actually, of course, why it aroused so much interest from at least from the U.S. because there are many opponents of Trump. Okay, they are trying to find any tool, any platform, any means of making anything that they can at least even not to make a fake news, but at least try to find out what is against Trump and which is helpful to them. Of course, we can understand when there are at least two main parties in the U.S. and then now the controlling party is the Republican under Trump. Of course, another party would like to resume power, would like to attack the current president, especially this president, which sometimes even the Republican won't cooperate with him, right? So you can see that this Epstein case, and especially his list, whether Trump is on the list, whether there are some secret details in the documentation of Epstein's case has to be released, but now not yet released because Trump is trying to defend something. We are not sure. Someone would think that he is trying to defend himself because he's on the list. And then people try to find out some photos, some movies, which in Trump's activity, you find Epstein, okay? Or in Epstein's activity, you find Trump. I think at that time, before his arrest, we all know that Epstein has many connections with the upper classes, with the politics, with all those billionaires, and Trump is one of them. It is not quite striking to me that you show some photo or movie that they are seen in the same event, right? So it is not proof that Trump must be on the list, or Trump is also one of his clients. You know who are Epstein's client, if you pay attention to his case, right? Those clients on his list, of course, they will be in great trouble, all right? They are also involved in those human trafficking, or those sexual activities concerning those teenagers. Okay, so you'll be a great problem, a great attack on Trump. Once again, you can see that before and after Trump's second presidency, you already seen actually he is still under many obstacles, under many attacks, under many oppositions. So even though we can see that he is hardworking, he is doing a lot of good jobs only for his 100 days, but we can see that the administration is still under attack. Of course, this is really the strongest attack. Even though the list is finally released and then you don't find Trump is on the list, or even though Trump has reasons not to release for the benefit of the U.S. and then you believe it, or finally you find that he's on the list, of course, then you will be the strongest attack, and really a good attack. All right. Of course, when we some of us, even Trump supporter, would like Trump to release so that to show that Trump is not on the list. Or some opponents, of course, he must make use of this golden chance to force the government to release the documents. Even Trump is against. Okay, even they say that, oh, it is not important now. The Epstein case is not important now. The need is not important now. Or Trump said that, oh, if I am on the list, surely the Democrats will release it before I gain residency, right? Before I get re-elected. Okay, why don't they release it? Okay, of course it is beneficial to them. So if they don't release it, that means I'm not on the list. Of course you can say this, but now when people want the list to be released, and then you still hold this reason, of course there is not strong enough reason not to release it. But whether the list will be released, I think we still have to wait for some longer time. Whether the government will give up their resistance to release, or whether the public have the enough power to force the government to release. Okay, and then after releasing, whether it's good news or bad news to either party, to either supporters or opponents of Trump, we don't know that. And then will the U.S. suffer another setback in their administration? We are not sure. Of course, we pray that and hope that this administration can run it smooth, as we see that for the past few months, already many achievements, already many good works have been done. If no matter it's released or not, it is sure that there will be a division among the parties, among the people and the government, and also there will be more opposition against Trump, against the government, against the U.S. administration, and of course the media, the people, the politics, especially those opposing Trump, will try to further their demand, okay, to get it released. Okay, and of course they will say that it is good for the U.S. democracy. It is good to let the people know. The people have the right to know, but we don't know. We don't know the reason behind that it is not being released. Whether it's a good reason, for a good reason, or for a bad reason to protect certain person's rate, we are not sure, but we actually need to wait and pray whether you will be released finally at a time suitable. And the reason behind to release a lot is really for the benefit of the U.S., of all the U.S. people. The Epstein case also aroused my interest to share on this topic. It's because the same suicidal case has also happened when I was in Hong Kong. In the past, I heard it from mainland China. It always happened among those political dissidents in mainland China. We will suddenly hear about some news about the suicide of those political dissidents or those prisoners after doing something against the government. And then since 2019, even in Hong Kong, these suicidal cases also happen quite often, or I can say at least happen for some cases that the public will believe that it is not a real self-suicidal case. I have to emphasize self. Actually, in English, there is no self-suicidal case. Okay, suicide, that means you take your own life. Okay, so it doesn't. You don't need to emphasize self. But in our concept, we have to emphasize it is not done by the people themselves. Okay, so in China we will make it as a not a positive action, but some action forced to do on you by other people. So actually these suicides I've heard at least a few times in Hong Kong after 2019, before my coming to the US, and then some cases even there are many evidences, even many investigation or analysis, or some experts analysis from medical, from psychological, from any aspect that you should not be a suicide. Okay, there's no evidence that the suicide person has any reason to do that, especially there is some footage showing that the one who take the suicide actually the last few minutes which the footage has caught the person last moments and then during the whole route. Okay, it seems the footage can show that this person actually has walk from her dormitory to the sea to take suicide. During this short time, actually she is all the time alone, and then walking to the sea alone, and then later find suicide by drowning herself. But the whole footage, the person appear in the footage actually. From many perspectives, a number of experts analyze and believe that actually it is not the same person. Actually, the footage is already, of course, is already done by some technical persons to hide the truth. As a layman, we don't know that we can just we can still see many different resources at that time when it just happened. But in these recent years, I don't think any mass media, any social media, any person, any reporter dare to say anything against this case more. At that time when it just happened, really there are many analyses, many investigations, many experts' opinions that what is fake, what can be fake, or there is no evidence that is suicide. Of course, the official document, the official saying is it is a suicide because of death footage, because this person has some mental problem before that, or there is no other evidence that she she was killed by some person else, and even her family member haven't come out to testify that she's not taking suicide, right? But of course, after this person died, also there are some footages or some photos showing that even her family member actually already taken the so-called suicide. Her family never appear in Hong Kong. Okay, even come out to even for the funeral, they haven't appeared again, and then no one come out to say something, or even her family member come out to say something, and then there are evidences, footages showing that this family actually is not the same one that they have seen before. So we don't know what happened, okay? As a layman, at that time we can still get information from many different resources, so we can still judge by ourselves. But then later, recently, of course, you can't find anymore, and then no one dare to say anymore. So whether believe or not, up to you, okay? Depends on your standpoint, depends on your standpoint about the situation, about the politics, about the government, about anything. Okay, so how the public decide whether it is a suicide or not? Because nowadays we always say about some common sense. Because that person drowning herself, actually she is a swimming expert. She is an athlete, and then she won prizes in swimming and diving and so on. So for our common sense, we also understand that someone who is expert in swimming, she won't choose drowning herself as the best way of taking suicide, because it is a very natural reaction that when you know swimming, when you are in the water, you will try to struggle, you will try to flow yourself, or you will naturally flow up yourself. At that time, I still quite understand, but now I can understand, because in the past I cannot float. Okay, I always nearly drown myself if I swim in the water, but now I can really float, and then I naturally float. When I want to try to dive deep into the water, and then I just relax, and then I naturally float. In the past, if I want to float, I cannot float. Okay, so when you are better in swimming, when you are expert in swimming, then naturally, when you before drowning yourself, when you want to kill yourself, actually there is nothing to be worried. Then actually you should be relaxed, and then naturally you will flow up, or you will struggle in the water to make yourself flow up. You will just not let yourself naturally drown by drinking in so much of water which you can't control. Okay, I can't swim well. Then if I don't float, then I will drink in lots of water, and then more. When I struggle more, then I drink in more water, and then I will get myself drowned very easily. But not for those swimming experts. So of course there is rumor that she's not taking suicide herself. She won't choose that way to take suicide, because he has to walk from her college to the sea for at least half hour, right? So no one will choose that way of taking suicide. And then when you and swimming expert, okay, you can just jump from your college, from your dormitory. You can just maybe, because Hong Kong has many high-story buildings. Many people kill themselves by jumping, because there are so many tall buildings that surely you will kill yourself when you just jump down, and then maybe just the second that you hit the ground, then maybe you feel a little bit pain, but maybe just 1 or 2 seconds, I'm not sure. But just the moment that you finally hit the ground, then you kill yourself, and then that is easy, right? And then maybe people find jumping down is very heroic event. I'm not sure, because some others suicidal cases which surely they take suicide themselves. Usually they choose jumping. But there is another suicidal case choosing jumping. But there is still rumor that that is not suicide. Why? Because he is also an athlete. He is a sport athlete. Just now the one is a swimming athlete. This one is a field athlete. Okay, he has won award for running, for outdoor activities, and he's still so young. And then the height that he has jumped down to kill himself, actually. I have been there. Actually, even at my age, I'm sure that I won't kill myself if I jump down. Okay, unless I choose to let my head down and then hit my head seriously, and then I may kill myself. But when you jump down, surely I don't think you will jump with your head down. Okay, and of course you might hit your head when you hit the ground, right? But because your height is so short, okay, surely and a young athlete, very energetic and healthy, he won't kill himself, and then he won't choose this way to kill himself. Just like the swimming athlete, he won't choose a jumping and then not very high to kill himself as a very good athlete. So there are rumors behind that. There are analysis, there are explanation, there are investigation, and then even there is evidence that there is a delay in the ambulance arrival time and leaving time. So that means there is a delay to save him, and then otherwise his life can be saved. Because even after this hurt, even after the delay when he was sent to the hospital, he still struggled to survive for, I think, at least 5 days. So you can see that how strong and healthy a teenager's life. Okay, even at that situation, he can still survive for at least 5 days. So in his critical moment, of course, finally he died. So if not for the delay or something like that, maybe his life can be saved. So of course, when the information cannot be totally covered, there will be rumor, there will be belief that something has happened. It is not a real suicide, and then there is no reason for him to take suicide, because it is actually it is midnight time, and then he went out just going down to the platform of his building, because you know that in Hong Kong we have a tall building with maybe over at least 50 or a few hundred people or units in the high building, and then you just go down to the platform. The platform only a few stories high. Of course, for old people or for a weak people, you can kill yourself, but not for a strong, healthy, young athlete. Okay, so he just went down. He want to because something is happening at that time in the surrounding. He just want to have a look, and then there's nothing left, and then his parents are sleeping, and then he bring his phone, and then he just put on his t-shirt, something like that, and then with shoes, right? And then he don't jump from his own floor. He jumped at the platform, so it is not acceptable to our common sense, right? When we talk about common sense. So I think now whether to of course in Hong Kong or about Hong Kong, about those cases in Hong Kong, we don't know the truth behind. Maybe for the coming years, we have no way to know the truth. We can only doubt, we can only have rumor, we can only have our own thoughts, our own belief, whether you trust or not. But in the US, surely people will try to press with greater political power or influence from the media and the public to ask the case and the list to be released. I think if youth is not released, I think the public won't accept it. Of course, if you are a Trump supporter, you will think about the good reason behind why Trump doesn't want the list to be released. when he said, oh, now the case should be over, don't think about Epstein, it's not important, the case is not important, the list is not important, and then if I am on the list, why the Democrats hasn't released it before my running for president? Of course, this is a very good reason to trust Trump and to support Trump. But as his opponents, or even those in between, they will, how would they respond? Of course, they won't let it calm down, silence down. They will, okay, if we see that there is no bad reason behind that you don't want to release it, why don't you release it then? Just release it. If it's no harm to you, no harm to the government, no harm to the, why don't you release it? Okay, but of course those supporting him, maybe they will think that maybe there is some harm behind if you release it, not because of Trump is on the list, maybe some other influential persons, maybe from Republican, maybe from Democrat, or even maybe from the religious bodies is on the list. We are not sure, because in the past years, maybe the U.S., no matter which sector, maybe religious, political, or even educational, any sector might have involved in those bad word or bad deeds in the U.S. We just can't trust. Since we finally we can see how the past administration has done so many bribery activities, so corrupt, or even sometimes we can we find that even those religious leaders, they can commit crimes. So I think, of course, those Trump supporters will also support that. If there is no harm to the Trump administration, then just release it, so that to shut up the mouths of those opponents. And those opposing, of course, they want it to be released so that you can silence us, so that you can prove, you can show us that you are not on the list. We just want to see whether you are on the list. So if Trump is on the list, of course, there's reason that he doesn't want it to be released. If he is not on the list, of course, there is also reason that he doesn't want it to be released. Maybe for the benefit of the U.S. I don't know. But I think maybe there will be great pressure on Trump, on his presidents, over the coming 4 years, that he to force him to get it released. I think it will last until his presidency end if he insists not to release it. So maybe 4 years later, you know the reason behind Trump, why Trump doesn't want it to be released, whether he's on the list or whether he want to protest some influential figures in the U.S. government or in the U.S. Which can be harmful to the U.S. if people know that they are on the list. So I think, yeah, this can be a quick attack, or the greatest attack. And then for this case, maybe Trump cannot just make an appeal, or just force the judges or force the department to follow his follow his executive orders. You just sign an order. Oh, you have to follow. Okay. If the judges don't follow, if the judiciary don't follow, then I make appeal, or then you are against the U.S. Laws, and something like that. He can still do something. But now, if he insists not to release, and then if the public want it to be released more and more, then this really a great problem, really a great attack, really a great harm, or really a great division, or even a very harmful influence on Trump's presidency, or even for the further elections. So we can see that just for the past 100 days, Trump has already done a lot, and then he is still going and trying to do a lot of good things against the bad influence of the previous government. Of course, maybe he is also done some bad thing behind. We don't know that. Maybe until some other days the bad deeds are released, we're not sure that. But at least we can see that at least he is hardworking. He is doing a lot of things, and then he is stopping the influx of great illegal immigrants from border, or even he has deported most of those illegal immigrants, especially the criminals, and then the border is safer. The all those cities, all those states inside the U.S. are safer, and then the tariffs brought a lot of revenue to the U.S. government, and then it seems everything is better, judging from economical, from judiciary, from border, from anything, from safety. So it seems everything is better. But this case, if we allow it to further develop, I think that you won't be good. No matter whether Trump is on the list, no matter release or not, I don't think it will be good. Surely there is a reason behind that Trump doesn't want it to be released. Not to say that whether he's on the list, just to say that surely there's some reason not to release is better than to release. But I don't think that is in Trump's power, because if even he tried to protect it not to be released during these 4 years, I think for the coming election, those want to be elected must promise that you will be released and must release it. Okay, actually Trump has also promised that he will release the Epstein list once he get elected, right? But now he hasn't done it. He also arouses lots of opposition from the public. So if for the coming election, those to be elected, if they don't promise, or if they don't do it after they promise, I think that then there will be a greater opposition, greater insecurity. So yeah, this is really a further test, a greater test for Trump's wisdom, for the strength of the administration to gather support from the public to solve the problems of the opposition, and then they try to do their best to release all those they can release, and those whom they cannot release, hope and pray that they can silence those people, silence the public by some reasons, by some powerful reason which the public can trust or can wait. So I think so during the first few months, even though the administration ones are quite good, doing a lot of better things than the past, and then it seems that it has already swept away all the bribery or all those corrupt things. But actually the greater tax, the greater division has come already, which we really have to rely on wisdom of God, wisdom of the government, wisdom of the president and the public. I think the public also have to use the wisdom to see whether it's good to support not to release, or to press forward that it must be released, not just to be led by the press, by the media, or even by the public opinion in the social medias, or any or opinion from any politic. They might lead the public into the wrong way, or just because they want to use it, or they might lead the public into the wrong way only that they take side and they just want to show their support. So may God bless us, may God give us wisdom, and may we request for more wisdom to weigh, to check, to find out, to read more, to know more, and then to think more, not just to take side, because I support, so I must support to the end, no matter what, because I am against. So this is a good way for me to show my opposition. I must fight to the end to get it released. Okay. Of course, we don't know the reasons behind, but if we trust the government, maybe we trust it to the end to see what it can be done. Because even really Trump is on the list, even Trump doesn't get it released because of his own benefit. He can only hide it for a few years, right? And then if he can focus these few years to do good things, and we can support him in this few years for him to accomplish all those good plans, good jobs that he already set to do it with his whole team, then maybe even he's on the list after this few years. I think the government, the U.S. can still do something on him to get him prison or punished for being involved in Epstein's crimes. Okay, but if he is not on it, and then later we find that he is doing some good thing to U.S., and then now we try our best to oppose it, and then destroy his administration, and then destroy the efficiency, destroy the trust, destroy the union, and then finally destroy the U.S., then actually it's not beneficial to any one of us. Even not as a U.S. citizen, I hope to see that the U.S. Is going well. Okay, even under all those indictment, all those attacks, all those things against Trump, against the administration, or even against you. Yeah, we pray and hope to see that U.S. is going smoothly and well in every perspective. May God bless us.